What if I told you that just two simple words could make a woman start craving you instantly and powerfully? Most men have no idea why connection fades, but understanding the female mind changes everything. Welcome to the Female Psyche, where we explore the hidden patterns of attraction and connection. Today, we're uncovering two simple words that can make a woman crave you like never before. Just two simple words can make a woman start craving you in a way you can actually feel. Female psychology explains why this works. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right and suddenly the connection went cold, here's something to know. It's not always your fault. Most men were never taught how the female mind really experiences attraction and emotional safety. Women grow up with an incredibly sharp social radar. We pick up tiny shifts in expression, subtle changes in tone, even short pauses in conversation before you notice them. It happens faster than thought, faster than logic. When something feels slightly off, the body reacts before the mind even understands why. The problem is, many men are performing instead of being themselves. They follow mental scripts, trying to control every word, every gesture, every impression. A woman can sense that effort immediately. It's not threatening, but it triggers uncertainty. And when a woman senses uncertainty, it often turns into emotional distance or even a lack of trust. This is where emotional alignment matters. When your words reflect your true self, when what you say lines up with how you feel and who you are, the energy shifts. It becomes calm, grounded. And that's when attraction starts to grow naturally, instead of being forced or chased. Before I share these two powerful words, pause for a moment. If everything I've said so far has made you think differently, that's a great sign. You're already ready to understand connection on a deeper level. The first word is simple, but it has to be used the right way. Don't toss it out as an empty compliment. Don't say it just to avoid silence. Use it with purpose. Picture this. She shares an opinion you don't fully agree with. Most men either nod quickly to avoid tension or steer the conversation back to themselves. Both choices reveal insecurity. They show a fear of discomfort or disagreement. A grounded man acts differently. He pauses. He keeps steady eye contact. He stays calm. Then he says, "That's interesting. Tell me more about that." Just a few words, yet the effect is powerful. Why? Because they silently send 3 signals at once, and she feels them instantly. First, you're not threatened by her view. Second, you have your own center. You can hold both ideas without conflict. Third, you're fully present in the moment. You are truly listening. Genuine curiosity builds connection on a deep emotional level. Research shows that when someone feels genuinely heard, the brain releases chemicals that create bonding and warmth. She begins to associate that positive feeling with you. Most men try to impress, to show off. The magnetic man does the opposite. He chooses to be genuinely interested. That small difference changes everything. Now, let's talk about the second word. This one may surprise you. The second word is no. Not harsh, not cold, just calm, clear, and confident. A simple no without apology. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a man say no to someone he was attracted to without over-explaining for several minutes? Most men, when drawn to someone, become overly agreeable. They say yes to everything, change plans, adjust their opinions, even bend their values. That doesn't create attraction, it diminishes it. Attraction responds to stability. When you calmly say no to something that doesn't work for you, you communicate something rare. You don't need anyone's approval to feel secure. This is called non-reactive confidence. It shows strength without aggression and peace without submission. It signals self-respect. I once worked with a man in his early 50s. He wasn't rich, flashy, or showy, but he moved through life with steady calm. A younger woman once asked him to cancel important plans for a last-minute idea. He simply smiled and said, "No, this weekend doesn't work. Let's plan next week." She tried to push again. He stayed calm. No arguing, no long explanation. He simply repeated that this weekend wasn't available. Instead of feeling rejected, she felt respect. A man who can hold his ground gently is a man who feels safe. And safe doesn't mean boring. Safe means reliable. These two words, interesting and no, aren't tricks. They reflect inner security. Interesting shows that you are confident enough to stay curious. No shows that you are strong enough to protect your boundaries. Together, they create what many women describe as authentic presence. You don't have to wait years to develop this. Start small. In your next conversation, practice real curiosity. Ask deeper questions. Listen fully without planning your next line. In everyday life, practice calm boundaries. Say no to small things without over-explaining. Boundaries aren't walls, they're structure. If this shifts the way you think about connection, pause and reflect. Which word do you need to work on more right now? Interesting or no? Growth starts with awareness, and awareness begins with honesty. Connection with a woman is rarely about the big gestures. It's in the small, quiet signals, the way you show up consistently and genuinely. Women are wired to sense subtle energy. They notice when your attention drifts, when your words don't match your feelings, when your body language carries tension. Even small mismatches between what you say and who you are can create a sense of distance. That's why so many men feel confused when things suddenly go cold. They were performing, not truly present. True attraction grows from a combination of curiosity, calmness, and emotional steadiness. When you listen without judgment and respond with authentic interest, you send a message that you are secure enough to hold space for her thoughts, her emotions, and her perspective. That feeling of being heard and understood creates trust, and trust is the foundation of desire. At the same time, maintaining clear boundaries communicates that you value yourself. Saying no calmly and without guilt signals strength and self-respect. It shows that your sense of worth doesn't depend on her approval. Women sense this stability on a deeper instinctual level, and it is magnetic. Boundaries aren't a barrier. They're a framework that makes interaction safe, predictable, and emotionally satisfying. Most men struggle because they confuse attraction with approval. They think agreeing with everything or trying to impress will create closeness. But in reality, over-agreement, over-explaining, and over-performing often push women away. The strongest attraction comes from authenticity, when your words, actions, and energy all reflect who you truly are. This doesn't mean being rigid or unkind. It means showing that you are present, grounded, and consistent. The power of words like interesting and no lies in what they represent. They are not tricks or lines. They are reflections of inner confidence. Interesting communicates that you are engaged, curious, and open. It invites her to share more without fear of judgment. No communicates that you have limits, that you are in control of your life, and that you don't rely on external validation to feel secure. Together, these words create a rhythm of give and take, curiosity and firmness, closeness and respect. That rhythm is deeply appealing because it mirrors the natural balance women crave in a partner. Even small daily practices can strengthen this presence. Notice how you listen, how often you interrupt, how often you defer or apologize unnecessarily. Practice pausing before responding, allowing yourself to reflect before speaking. Practice saying no in low-stakes situations without over-justifying. These small shifts build a subtle energy that works. Men pick up instantly. They sense a man who is secure, present, and grounded, and that energy is far more powerful than words alone. Understanding female psychology is not about manipulation. It's about alignment. Aligning your words, your actions, and your energy with who you truly are. When you do that, attraction becomes natural. Women respond to the authenticity, the calm confidence, and the sense that they are with someone who is fully themselves. This is why so many relationships falter despite initial chemistry, because one person is performing instead of being real. The moment you bring presence, curiosity, and clear boundaries together, you shift the dynamic entirely. Every conversation is an opportunity to practice. Every interaction is a chance to refine how you listen, how you respond, and how you hold your ground. The more consistently you show up in alignment with your true self, the deeper the emotional and psychological connection grows. Attraction isn't about grand gestures or clever words. It's about creating a safe, engaging, and authentic energy that invites closeness naturally. Attraction isn't about tricks, flashy moves, or saying what you think she wants to hear. It's about being present, staying curious, and holding your boundaries with calm confidence. Just two simple words, interesting and no, can completely change the way a woman feels around you because they show who you really are. Start practicing them today in small ways and notice how connection deepens naturally. Remember, authenticity always wins. When you align your words, actions, and energy with your true self, attraction grows on its own, effortlessly and powerfully. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an insight from the female psyche. And if this really spoke to you, comment the word curious below. I want to see who's ready to connect on a deeper level.